Hello, class. Welcome to Chapter 6. This is Voiced Intimacies from your book, Intimacies. Let's go ahead and dive in. This isn't a super long chapter. It shouldn't take us very long to get through it, and you got some other videos and things that you're doing this week, so this chapter takes us to Indonesia. Indonesia is this chain of islands that is all one country here, but it takes place specifically on Sulawesi, which is this large island just south of Malaysia, which is predominantly a Muslim island, while most of the rest of the country is not. So it's a little bit different. Don't think that this group of people represents all of Indonesia. Indonesia, is, in fact, has a lot of diversity. In case you didn't remember, this is Papua New Guinea, not very far away in terms of the world, geographically very distant, but this is where the Sambia are from, over here, the island of Papua New Guinea. But like I said, we are studying the Makassar, who live on the island of Sulawesi. They have an economy based on rice cultivation and fish. The coastal regions are heavily Islamic, where they are characterized by strict social hierarchy, bilateral systems of descent that are determined by both patrilineal and matrilineal systems. Now, they are also polygynous, but you would think by some of these stats that they would be fairly patriarchal, but in fact they are fairly gender egalitarian in many different ways that we might find kind of surprising. So they are endogamous in that women should never marry somebody from below their social rank. That would be the opposite of hypergamy. That would be the opposite of women marrying up, raising their social status via their marriage by marrying down. This is something that not only hurts the woman's social status, but in Makassar society, this would bring down the social status of the entire family, which leads to this other practice of arranged marriage. That's not only do women and men face arranged marriages where they have not very much input on who they're going to marry, but young women's geographic range is extremely limited. They are not allowed to leave their house without male chaperones, and they're very guarded until they get married, and even after they're married, they're very guarded. But like a lot of the groups of people that we have been studying in this class, things are starting to change. They are starting to, Indonesia, the government is starting to get more control over the various different regions, and they are instilling this policy of mixed gender classrooms. So for the first time, maybe not for the first time, but for first time in a long time, these genders are starting to mix at younger and younger ages. So men and women do not possess higher or lower social standing through their gender. This is the part that, on paper, you might think the Makassar are extremely patriarchal, but in fact, men and women represent different but equal roles in society. Equal rights in the economic sphere. Women are allowed to open up their own businesses. Men are allowed to open up their own businesses. They all have equal rights to property. Women are not treated as property. So they have equal rights in the economic sphere and similar economic roles for gender. So it's not as if men work in the fields and women stay at home, or women take care of children and men do not. These things are not strict rules. So in some ways, they have a lot of gender equality. In other ways, they do not. Now, let's have a quick discussion, see what you remember from this reading before I go on to summarize some of the key points that I took away from it. And that's, can you compare and contrast features of the following forms of marriage among the Makassar? We're going to primarily be comparing and contrasting arranged marriage versus the self-made marriages. How do they differ? What are some of the different reasons for the two kinds of marriage to coexist? Why are there these two primary kinds of marriage among the Makassar? And what are some of the different outcomes for couples who engage in one or the other? Why would you choose one over the other?